What is up, Axel Rico? Thank you for being normally I'll say interview, but today you're gonna be my special guest. We're gonna talk about
All
yourself
right.
and we're gonna be talking about wrestling, music, just having a regular conversation today because you seem like a chill dude, man. So
Seems like more like I am, but I got you, friend. I can't wait. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
tell me a little bit about yourself and also, the listeners and the viewers about yourself.
Well, I am the thing that connects us both is that I am a pro wrestler in the Chicagoland area. I was born and raised in Guaynabo, Puerto Rico. Born there, and then I came here when I was about 5, 6 years old. Always had a thing for doing like theater and exercise, so I thought a great mix of both of those things would be professional wrestling. And then 6 years later, here we are. I've got some belts here and there. I've done work for multiple states. I've gone to between to Florida and Las Vegas, work in Chicago, of course, and just trying to make a name for myself and just trying to have fun and having a crazy life.
First of all, you're not trying to make a name for yourself. You already made a name for yourself. Personally. So yeah, there you go, right? You like that.
Good word. Good
Yeah.
words. I like that.
So
I like
but yeah, no, it's crazy. Because to be honest, I found out about you and I don't I know for a fact it was before the pandemics. And you
that.
had
Okay.
shorter hair.
Yeah.
So and then
Yeah.
once the pandemic, I think we were still in the pandemics, but people were still having wrestling shows again, but it was like
Yeah.
limited people. And then that's when you had your long hair and it works for
Yep.
you, man. So with the long hair, was that just something where you wanted to grow out or it was just something like it just happened?
Well, it's kind of a funny story because I've always had like really really short hair because when I was growing up I always had very wavy curly hair, and
Right.
my abuela and my mom were never big fans of the long hair thing. They thought men had to be
No,
proper.
no, yeah, my mom's the same way.
So like, coming from a Hispanic family where everybody's got the like flip to the side, chain. What I was like, what, I'm, now that I'm, an adult and trying to be like not looking like everybody else, I'm gonna look like look like what I want to, see what it's like, try it for the first time, and I like it. It's stuck. Like some people call me like the broccoli head because the hair's so crazy. You know what I mean? But
I like
I
that.
I think all publicity is good publicity. So like,
Facts.
I even got the title at a couple wrestling shows around here, the best hair in the Midwest. So like, I think it's a good style, and I thought might as well, especially during the pandemic when we didn't even know when we'd be coming back.
Right.
I thought it would be a good time to maybe try it, take the paper, scrunch it up, try something new. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Throw that in the can, and then once we come back from pandemic, because I know that was really hard on everybody, and I know everybody just
Right.
wanted to go to shows, go to see music, hang out with friends and all that stuff. So I thought that would be the opportune time to try something new out.
Yeah. And it worked out. Even the little changes worked out. It could work out
Yeah.
because there's the problem, man. Because look at the changes that you made and where you're at before. There's some people that are still stuck in their positions because they don't want to change. They want to be who the character they started with, and it's
Yeah,
understandable.
that's really what I think opened my eyes during the pandemic, because that's when I started like branching out and meeting new people, just getting like getting into people's heads. Like that's when I really met Ricky Cruz. He's been a big influence
Mm.
in my life, and just training with different people from like AAA. During the pandemic, I got to train with Super Crazy, and just
Oh,
like
nice.
getting different people and different mindsets, because I just did one school here in Chicago, and I thought you go to one school, they teach you this, that, and the other, and you kind of think maybe that's it. But during that time where we couldn't really do shows and all that stuff, but like training, and a lot of people are traveling, was able to meet new people and kind of open my eyes to different schools, different ideas to wrestling, how to put out a different way than what you're used to. And definitely that really changed my mindset and how to be better and how to like think differently and kind of be on my feet more. So I really thought, trying different things out, not being afraid to take criticism. Like, yes, this is how, like if I go to just like a little league, and I get taught to throw a baseball like that, you know,
Right.
do that, do that. But then when you go to the big leagues or somebody that's been through the big leagues and all that stuff, and they tell you how to throw it, like, with a little curve on it, whatever,
Hmm.
don't be afraid to be like, you know what, I know this way, but it's okay if I also know this way and this way.
Right. And plus, if you want to work for different promotions, you want to
That's
be
true.
able to work almost every style, or at least some kind of style, just to have
Yeah.
a good match. Because you don't want to be like, hey, I would like to book you, and then you're like, oh well, I can't wrestle that guy because we have different styles. You know.
Styles. Yeah. Of
So it's like, so
course.
now it's better to be more flexible.
That's absolutely
And
correct.
yeah, you don't have to learn everything, but just a little something, just to
It's
get
good to,
booking.
yeah, it's good to know a little bit of everything.
Right. So I'm trying to get fast forward to your career. You
Okay.
recently just won the CSW World Heavyweight Champion. That
Yeah.
must be a huge accomplishment because I mean, I assume you were training at Chicago style wrestling, right?
Yeah, that was the training school that opened their doors to a young Axel Rico. It was my stomping grounds. It's where I learned to lock up, how to hit somebody for the first time, how to take bumps. So, it was really an honor to finally win the grandest prize of Chicago style wrestling, and getting that heavyweight belt after 6 months of, really fighting and having to, get hit a lot, get backstabbed a lot, getting hit from a whole bunch of people and fighting through all that BS, and to have all the fans and all the people really support me, and finally got the big one. And it was a great way to close out the year. And I can't wait for January 13th, this Friday. It's
Yes.
going to be my first defense of the belt, and it's not an easy one right off the bat at the first first show
You
of the
want to
year.
let everybody know who you're gonna face?
I don't know. He's just pretty big guy named Jacob Fatu, one of
Woo!
the one of the Samoan giants of the Fatu family.
Yeah.
When I got that news, I was like, dang, he looks good on our flyer. And then like a week later, oh, I'm facing him. Cool, cool. That's pretty cool.
And then you looked at the title and say goodbye.
No, no,
Hopefully
no.
that's not the case, man. But
I
hey,
mean, if he beats me, it'll be worth it. You know what I mean? But I'm
yes.
not. It's not gonna be a shutout. It's gonna be a fight, and it's gonna be either way. I like to fight. You know what I mean? That's my big
Yes.
thing. Like I love, laying it in and getting hit back just to, because I treat it like, being like a super saiyan. I need to take the hits to keep growing stronger. And he's definitely one of those people, like a roadblock, like a final boss battle type thing. So
You would think, yes, exactly. You would think you would have a good couple months with the title and then maybe have the opportunity to face him. But it's like, nope, you're gonna face him right now. So,
hey,
but hey, they
bring
trust
it.
you enough to face him.
I
So that's
will.
good.
It's
And
going to be
also,
one hell of a show, and it's going to be a great way to start off the year because he really brings a different kind of style. I've been watching him since his MLW, and the guy can go. So I
for
I, I got
sure.
to do my homework this week, and I'm like I just was doing training right before this, so
Yeah.
like I'm constantly getting ready for anything.
You're ready. And then yeah, like you're a fighter. You wouldn't be world champion right now if you weren't a fighter. So, but good luck on Friday the 13th, right? So good
Yes,
luck.
yes.
Yeah, you're a fighter, man. And plus you got that running knee. So it only takes one, hopefully, right?
I don't know with that big guy. Maybe have to give him a couple. Maybe a
All
couple.
right, sounds good, man. Um, but what besides, I'm assuming your number one favorite match is when you won the world title. But what other can you give me three matches that took place that you could tell me that was your favorite?
Sure, man. Obviously, the when I won the big one at November's CSW show, which was super awesome to, like it felt like that moment where the coach gets Gatorade poured over their head, you know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
really felt great. a lot of matches that I really, but that one, of course, I remember because of the championship. But I had a lot of good matches with Sky Blue.
Mm.
I know in Galley Lucho we had a very good one. We had a lot of bangers at Galley, and we had like a no disqualification hardcore match, and
With
she
Sky
was
Blue?
definitely, yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah. You
wow.
can look it up. It's one of Galley's like most viewed videos. And I had a lot of fun because she's one of those people that is really good, and she's not afraid to take hits and also like give back some stuff. That is a lady you don't mess with, and
Yeah.
so I had a lot of fun wrestling her. We even did some stuff at Warrior Pro Wrestling. I remember that match very well. That was between myself, her, Gringo Loco, and Billy Starks. That
Mm.
was a lot of fun. And I'm trying to think, man, because it's crazy to think, 6 years of doing this, man, to find three matches. But I think a lot of this, so Joey winning the belt, most of my stuff that I did with Sky Blue, and I think when I finally worked Juventud Guerrera, that
Mm.
was uh, that
Nice.
was a whole lot of fun in Damage Pro Wrestling. And the guy, even like 2022, he wanted to work. He wanted to do his stuff. He gave me a Hoovy driver. I kind of fell asleep. Thank God somebody else broke it up. But it was a lot of fun because he's one of the guys that I, remembered when I was just a kid thinking like I want to be like that one day. So
Right.
to work somebody that was, you know, somebody that made me look at, being a Latino, being Hispanic, and of course, doing what I want to do as a from hobby into like what I'd like to do full time. It was great and an honor working Juventud.
Nice. You were also part of AEW Dark, right?
Yeah.
Apparently you like wrestling with bears.
I
So
don't.
how
I
was
don't
it
think.
facing Bear Country?
Yeah, I don't. Well, we got asked to do. I got asked by them to come in and wrestle, but you never know who you're going to wrestle until the day of, and they
This is
partnered me
this
up
is
with.
the this is the dark that took place in the Impact Zone, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's AEW Dark or the Elevations where
Right.
it's in
Universal
Florida.
Studios.
Yeah, Universal Studios. So it was really cool to because like I was always a big fan of old TNA and all that stuff to see like to be
Same
able to
here.
be in that type of building. It was really cool. And then but you got to take that in and think like in a couple hours I'm going to wrestle here. So yeah, the first time I did it, I went against a guy named George Joel, really strong dude. Really, and it was a good match. He beat me, and then of course I got to tag up with my buddy Inestra, and we went against Bear Country, and I had a lot of fun. We'll admit, we kind of got stomped by some bears, but you know what I mean. Like it just turns into one of those things where you learn from it, right? You take those
Right.
matches, you watch it back, and you kind of think, okay, I did this wrong, or maybe I should have done this, maybe I could have done that, but. Every loss is a lesson. That's what I always say. If you don't never take the L, just add an L to an L. The
Mm.
loss turns into a lesson.
No, I like that. I really like that.
Yeah,
That's dope.
yeah, yeah.
So how was it? Who do you know who called you? Was it a call, like an actual call? Was it an email? How did they reach out to you?
Uh, well, I was knowing a lot of people through doing like AW and CSW and working galley. I've worked a lot of people that have worked with AEW, trained with Mustafa Ali. So
Mm.
like it's fun, it's fun to know connections with a lot of people, and I met, a lot of, of course, when, I was always training up with Sky Blue. And, once she got the call up, I was always proud of her. I tried to go to a lot of the shows. And I remember I wrestled for AAW, I think around, I want to say like close to almost a year ago, probably like a year ago, November. So November of 2021.
Mhm.
I like wrestled somebody, and that was the same show that Ruby Soho was in. And
Mm.
after I finished that match, she came up to me and gave me a pat. She's like, "That was a lot. That was a great match." And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, I got an email the next day saying, "We'd like to use you for this." I think they were in Chicago that week or not Elevation, for like Rampage and stuff. So I was in the, I was, helping them out backstage. And then it was very similar to that. It was when they were in Chicago for it wasn't Revolution. I think it was when it was the crossover, the Forbidden
Oh,
Door.
the Forbidden Door.
Yeah, I did some extra work there, so I was helping, doing security and stuff. And then they asked me that same weekend to go do their tapings down in Florida and Orlando, and that's when I got, we were wrestling some bears.
I love that caption that you wrote. I started laughing when I saw that caption on your
Which
IG.
caption?
On your
Yeah.
IG when you posted it. That's where I got it from.
I mean, man, like, they're big. They're really big dudes. They're one of the, like I've met a lot of people that are ginormous and all that stuff. Like when I first met Mil Muertes, and I found out that he was still pretty big, but he wasn't as tall as I was thinking. But when I met Bear Country, like, damn, dude, I was talking to them being like, hi, nice to meet you, like looking all the way up. And because like I'm about 5'10", and
Oh, wow, you're
that
pretty tall
match,
then.
yeah, I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm all right,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not like super short. So when you see the ring and I'm like, my shoulders over the top rope, and I still gotta like, try to find this dude. Both of them are, and they're great dudes. They're very, you know, what I love that they can have a fiery spirit in the ring, but then outside of it, they're good people. That's what it's nice to know, because you can be a vicious killer, but sometimes when you come out of it, like I'm happy that most of the time when I watch UFC and the match is over, people are giving each other hugs and respecting it. It turns
Right.
into a sport. So when I met those guys and they were very much like that, they obviously beat the crap out of us, but afterwards they made sure we were okay and said, you guys did great. Thank you so much. And we just chatted and all that stuff. It turned into, a working relationship, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay, that's good. Quick question. Now, if WWE, AEW,
Okay.
Impact, NWA, New Japan, they all offer you a contract, same money, same pay, same schedule, which one you're going with?
Man, that's one of those things. That obviously, if all of them, the tough question is like, if all of them gave me an offer, what would I choose? Right.
Right.
That, in my opinion, would be way harder of a decision. Because I was always a fan of the second opportunity knocks, you got to do it. I believe publicity. So like if Impact reached out to me July 1st and then WWE reached out to me July 2nd, I'm always, take what's there. And the thing is, I appreciate all those groups, all those companies, because they help people like us show the world or different audiences what we can do.
Right.
But I learned a lot of good things from a guy named Ricky Marvin. He's a wrestling Noah. He's been a killer in Japan. He helped with NXT in Japan, and he always told me it was a very funny because his English is all right, but it's not perfect. But he told me, if that ever happens, you got to think about it this way: McDonald's will always be McDonald's, and he was referencing WWE. So he told me, like, if you had all those, always pick McDonald's, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because no matter what, that one's been going, McDonald's has been McDonald's since the dawn of time, quote unquote. And it's probably the biggest company of the world. But that's one of those things. Like, of course, I would choose that because that's what got me into wrestling. Like, without WWE and WCW, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
I wouldn't be the lover of wrestling. I wouldn't be the fan. I wouldn't be the, the coach that helps people train and get better as a pro wrestler without those two companies. But of course, being realistic, if Impact reached out to me, if I did NWA, of course I would do all of them. But if all of them reached out to me, obviously got to go with WWE.
WWE. Now, what if WWE was out of the picture?
Oh, like gone, or they didn't offer me?
Not
What do you mean?
gone. They didn't offer you. Just Impact,
Oh,
NWA, and AEW.
dude, man, whichever one reached out first. I have a lot of friends at each one of those promotions. I love Impact. Josh Alexander, I always go up to him after AAW or something. I talk to him. I ask him, how was this? How was that? And seeing different people, so like it's one of those things that I don't have a preference. I would do them all if I could. But if I only have between those two, I'd probably think, I like AEW because I have a lot of friends there. And they tour around the United States, and they're trying to reach into Canada. So of course that might reach more people. But I love NWA because they have a lot of you know what I mean. It's just one of
Yeah.
those things that I would have fun no matter where I went. But if, I've done a lot of AEW. I like their talent. I like their they got a lot of people that I'd love to fight. And
Mhm.
so because their roster is just huge, maybe them.
Right. Me
Yeah,
personally, I will have you go to Impact just
sure.
so because you would be perfect for the X division, and then they got the digital media title, and then eventually it won't take you long to be world champion. So
Yeah.
with
Josh, if
AB,
you're listening,
I hope he is. You better share this
yeah,
video.
he's a dude. He's a great guy. I'm a big fan of Josh ever since
He
watching him.
just broke the Bobby Roode record. He's the longest
That's
reigning
true.
world champion, and also Friday the 13th, he's gonna be facing Bully Ray defending the world title. So
I mean, come on, man, right there. That's a banger. You know what
yeah,
I mean? That's a banger. Yeah.
but we have something in common. We both
Okay.
we both train as CSW.
Yep.
We both like Axie and Alexandra, right?
Yeah.
So and then obviously, both. I mean, you're current. I was former wrestler. I also referee. So,
Mhm.
but Axine Alexandra. What are your favorite music from them?
I saw them recently in concert. I think it was a Day to Remember, Asking Alexandria.
Woo! I was supposed to go to that concert.
Yeah, I forgot who was the beginning, who was the like opener. I don't know if it was Sleeping with Sirens, but it was like somebody around in that
Yeah,
area of the same kind of era, and
I think it was Sleeping with Sirens because
something
I was
like that.
supposed to,
Yeah,
yeah, because I was supposed to go to that concert, but tickets sold out.
yeah, no, but I was always in a Day to Remember fan. So the second it was Asking Alexandria as well, I was like, that's a no brainer.
Yeah.
Um, but I never really listened to their new stuff
Oh, you got
because
to.
I know I've been listening to like Alone in a Room. That one's kind of been stuck in the brain recently, but like when I think of Asking Alexandria, I just think, oh my god, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when it was just screamo, pretty much like maybe a little bit of a chorus, and then just screaming. So that's my era of Asking Alexandria. So
Yeah, I do
mostly,
enjoy their new music, but yes, Alone in a Room,
yeah,
awesome. So is Into the Fire. I think that was
yes,
I think that song is what got me into it.
really, okay.
Yeah. And then I just started following them after that.
No, they're very, very good band. Live, they're also very, very good. There was this really big guy that just smelled horrible, but was singing all their songs throughout that concert. I remember that specifically. I was like, this song's pretty good. I just feel bad for everybody behind this big dude that is like apparently the biggest fan in the world, but he doesn't know what deodorant is.
Nice. Uh, so you said it yourself, you became a wrestling fan because of WWE. Do you know your first memory of it?
Yeah, man. I've said it in a lot of like podcasts and all that stuff, but I'm never, it's the first memory I have of wrestling. In Puerto Rico, I had an uncle who had a friend that was a wrestler in Puerto Rico, and
Mm.
I would always want to go to his house because he had just a wall of VHS tapes.
Oh wow.
Like it was everything in the early '90s. Because I don't know, I was barely able. I was probably like 3 or 4 years old, probably watched a bunch of them, but the one thing I remember is that he gave me a tape of Halloween Havoc, and it was the first match on there was Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio.
Oh,
Um,
97.
yeah, so it
Ooh.
was, you saw the like with the huge like skeleton with the pumpkin,
Mm.
and just those two just tearing it up. And I remember just my uncle and his friend, his name was Kuka Man. I remember him as the wrestler, and he would just be like, "These guys are Latinos. They're representing everybody, and they're like killing it, and they are the best of the best." So like in my brain, as a little child, I'm seeing these guys flying, drop kicking, shaking the shoulders, and I just became a huge fan of Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio ever since then. And of course, seeing them in the early 2000s, like Eddie was everything. That's why I got my gear,
Yeah,
to
you
my
got that
favorite
Latino
match.
heat.
Yeah, my favorite match is between him and Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship.
No Way Out,
Yes.
2004. That was my first ever uh pay-per-view, like watching it live on
Yeah,
pay-per-view. Like that was the first one ever. And
dude,
it was a great one too.
literally one of the best, and literally he was the best. Like I had a chance to talk to his brother in like a kind of little podcast thing like this.
Mm.
Uh it was
Which
it's just
brother?
oh my god, not Chavo, his older brother that was the gobbledygooker. I forgot his name.
Oh, is it
God.
Hector?
Yeah, Hector Guerrero, that's
Hector
it.
Guerrero.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I was always a big fan. I met Shaw and Vicky, and just it was just, even though I wasn't able to like really talk. I didn't talk a lot, but just shaking their hand and just being able to
The fact that
represent.
wrestling was able to take you to that point of
Yeah,
meeting that the Guerrero family is just like, whoa.
yeah. But Eddie, always my. He's like in the Mount Rushmore for me for.
Oh, I like that. So who's the rest of the Mount Rushmore?
I'm a fan of Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but I think he's his. I think he's like runner up on my Rushmore, because it goes Eddie, Stone Cold. Like
Hmm.
he was always the GOAT for me. Like the best talker, didn't have to do much, and he like knew how to work the crowd.
Yeah, he
I
did.
was always a big fan of Angle. Like that guy, he could wrestle any single person and put out a good match. And then man, the fourth one is always hard for me, because like there's so many people that I really, really enjoy that I can think about. But I gotta go Ray. You know what I mean? So Eddie number one, obviously, and Ray, no matter what's, gotta be on the four.
Ooh, I'm surprised. I thought you would have put Daniel Bryan on that list. I
I
think it's
like
because of the running knee.
I just I appreciate, Mr. Brian Danielson, Brian, because I always learned something from watching his wrestling.
Right.
But I think if I got more into early Ring of Honor when I was younger, I think he'd be
Mm,
on there.
okay.
But because I figured it out more, like recently, more in like the 2018s, the 2020s, that's when I really started researching like the Bobby Fishes, the Daniel
Mm,
Bryans, the Alistair Blacks, the Kevin Steens, and the Genericos. Like if I would have seen them and more, been there when they were, the days of like old school Ring of Honor, I think I
right.
probably would have. But you know what I mean? Like I was watching WWE every Friday, SmackDown every Friday night when I was a kid in like 2005, 2003, 2004, so like those are the ones that jump into my head first before the
I'm
Ring of
I'm
Honor.
I'm glad you admit that because a lot
Yeah.
of people, like for me, when it comes to Bobby Fish, people are always asking, "Why do you like Bobby Fish?" I don't. I understand why people don't like him now, but it's like you guys don't understand. You have to watch his
Yeah,
matches back in Ring of Honor.
that's true.
The same thing with Brian Danielson. The reason why I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan and Seth Rollins because I
Yeah.
knew Kevin Steen and Tyler Black.
Yes.
I've been a fan. I watched. They're the reason why I started watching Ring of Honor. You
Yeah.
know, So and then where they're at now, it's like, man, that's crazy and good for
Yeah.
them.
It's just one of those things that you see them back in the day, like, wow, these guys are gonna make it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And here they are.
And one day you're gonna make it as well.
I hope,
Just
man. Every day I just, hope to wake up and just keep grinding, you know what I mean? Because there's no way in hell any of those guys that you just named just got it. You know what I mean? It was never handed
Exactly.
to them. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why people need to go back and watch. I understand Ring of Honor is you basically Ring of Honor is dead. But if you go back and watch the old school Ring of Honor and then it makes you feel yourself better because it's like, okay, I
Yep.
do have opportunity to make it.
Yeah.
It may not happen in a year or two, but it's gonna happen.
Dude,
So,
because like those guys were rocking at, AAW, they were rocking the Chicago, they were rocking the Minneapolis,
Berlin.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like everywhere. So it
Yeah.
wasn't, and they still had to do bangers at Ring of Honor when it was taping times. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So always a big fan of them, but like, I would, put on channel whatever five or whatever it was when I was just, not gonna do homework, was gonna come up with a reason to do it the morning of because I had to make sure I watched all of Raw or all of SmackDown.
Right. Well, I got a quick game for you. It's called
Okay.
Pick One and Delete the Rest.
Oh crap. Okay.
Yes.
All
Yeah, you messed up, man. So
right.
I got Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, Halloween Havoc. I
Mhm.
got The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. I got
Okay.
Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar, No Way Out. And then I got Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock, WrestleMania 19. Pick one,
Dang,
delete the rest.
dang, man. All those, all those are too good to be true. Now I'm picking like what I think is the best of the best, right?
Yep. So you're picking the one that you could, whatever you pick, and then the rest are deleted for your life. You can never watch them again. It's gone from your
Of
memory. Everybody else is going to remember these matches except for
course,
you, and you
of
can't watch
course.
them.
I think just based off that, of course, I never will never say any of those matches are, not the best. You know what I mean? Like
Yes, it's
Stone
to
Cold
it's to
versus
make it difficult for you.
exactly. But the match that I always find myself rewatching and studying and finding something new every time I watch it, because all four of those matches that you mentioned, I've seen probably at least 10 times, but one that I've seen way more is got to be Brock versus Eddie.
There you go. And that's a
Because,
good choice. I mean, they're
it,
all good,
they're
but
all good.
yeah.
They're all good, but like it's got a little bit of everything. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
it
It's got
does. It's a roller coaster ride.
it's got the David versus Goliath. It's got like the people going absolutely nuts. It's got story in there. It's got Goldberg for some reason. It's got ref bumps. It's got
Yes.
he cheated. He's got like his whole family there. You know what I mean?
The
The
story behind it.
commentary. Uh huh. And I truly believe like Taz and Michael Cole. That was like prime commentary for WWE
Well, yeah,
because
because they love Eddie Guerrero. I mean, who
yeah,
didn't? But
that's true.
and then also it was a big deal because I would have. I'm pretty sure everybody would have loved that match happen at WrestleMania. But the fact that
Yeah,
it happened before WrestleMania, it was
yeah,
great because people are looking. We want Eddie Guerrero to win, but it's not gonna happen because WrestleMania's next month, or
exactly.
and it's like
Yeah,
they're not gonna have Brock Lesnar drop the title before Mania. We're gonna get Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg for the WWE Championship, and nope, Eddie Guerrero won. So it
yeah,
was perfect, perfect.
absolutely.
So I got another quick game for you
All right,
called King of the Ladder. So
King.
basically, I'm gonna give you two names, and then
Okay,
you're gonna pick one of them, and we're just gonna go down the list, and whoever
got
is the last one is gonna be King of the Ladder. We also got
it.
Queen of the Ladder after this one.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
So starting off, I got The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, the hell yeah! I gotta go Stone Cold.
Hell yeah!
Gotta
All
go.
right,
Gotta go Stone Cold.
Stone Cold or AJ Styles.
AJ, appreciate him a whole lot, man, but like I gotta go Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Stone Cold or Roman Reigns?
Ah, man, love Roman now. I think it took too long for him to get where he's at right now. Got to go Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Stone Cold or Seth Rollins?
Ah, dang it. That's now it's starting to get challenging because I'm a big fan of Mr. Rollins, but I don't know, man. I'm an early '90s 2000 baby, so like give me Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Stone
Not hard.
Cold or Chris Jericho?
Ah, Jesus. All right. Yeah, I see what you're doing here. Y2J, man, that's really good, but I appreciate him, but I don't love him as much as Stone Cold, man.
Stone Cold or The Rock?
Oh, back to the first one.
Oh, sorry. Kurt
How's
Angle.
it?
Kurt Angle. My bad.
No, you're good. I was about to say, I think if you're trying to trick me, you almost did. Um,
I tricked myself.
yeah, I think, man, you know what I mean? Like nobody was as entertaining as Stone Cold. Angle was a better wrestler and could do anything, but man, that bald dude from Texas, I gotta go Stone Cold.
All right. Stone Cold or Edge?
Edge, I was a big fan of his work. Loved him. Loved every match he was in. You know, TLC wouldn't be TLC without him, but the WWE wouldn't be the WWE without Stone Cold
Steve
Steve
Austin.
Austin.
That's a hell yeah.
That's a
I
hell
got
yeah.
two more, and it's gonna get
Yeah,
more difficult.
I
Stone
bet.
Cold or Rey Mysterio?
Rey Mysterio Jr. or Rey Mysterio is when I believe like Americans sing lucha libre. I see his mask, I see the cross down the middle and all that, and I truly love everything he's done for lucha libre and the Hispanic culture and all that stuff. But man, Stone Cold turned a whole generation. Got
So
to go the Stone Cold.
last one, Stone Cold or Eddie Guerrero? Who's gonna be
I
king of the
mean,
ladder?
I knew this one was coming. I didn't know when. Like I firmly believe Stone Cold made WWE, or at least the way it is. But the person that changed my life, for what I am is Latino Heat. So gotta go Eddie.
So there you go. King of the ladder is
Big
Eddie Guerrero.
surprise! Big
A
surprise!
little bit, a little bit. I was technically Eddie Guerrero was after Seth Rollins, but I wanted to see how long you were gonna go with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. Like I appreciate every single wrestler for what they've done and what they do because
Of
each person
course.
that you named is completely different.
Yes.
But I don't think anybody has changed the entire scene of wrestling like Stone Cold did.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
facts now. All right. Now it's time for Queen of the Ladder.
All right, that's gonna be a little tough because I love I love the superstars of this generation and the past generations, but I really think the newer ladies have been kicking ass.
All
So
right.
all
Let's
right, let's
see.
go.
Let's see. All right. Lito versus Trish Stratus.
Oh God, man.
Already.
No, that's tough because both of them were way ahead. You know what I mean? Like if both of them were where they were today, man. But like also without both of them, a lot of wrestlers wouldn't be
The Diva
confident. But
division would have been done if it wasn't for
seriously,
them.
man, seriously, man. But I got to go with my girl Lita.
Lita.
I thought
Ooh, nice pick. All
big
right. So
fan.
Lita versus Charlotte Flair.
I knew this one was coming. I never thought about those two together. I personally think Trish and Lita helped Charlotte, and of course, her heritage and all that stuff is good. I think Charlotte is one of the best wrestlers today. So I love you, Lita, but I gotta go. Let's go with the Flair.
All right. Charlotte Flair or Sasha Banks?
Sasha Banks, I think, is one of the best technical wrestlers, and her stuff in NXT was great. I wish
Yeah.
she would have done more of that. No idea, but when I think of Charlotte, I hear, I see more, and I see more character stuff and stories and all that stuff with her. Love me some Sasha or Mercedes or whatever, but I gotta go with Charlotte.
Charlotte or Bailey?
I was a big fan. I like what Bailey's been doing lately. I think I don't really catch up a lot, but I'll stick with Charlotte. Love
Charlotte?
Bailey, but I think Charlotte's been moving a little more than she has.
Charlotte or Becky?
Dang, that one's hard. That was real hard because I think Charlotte was very, she had her heritage and her name behind it, but Becky kind of
But
earned her
Charlotte backed
stripe.
it up though.
That's true. No, 100%. But I firmly believe Becky, she was always good, but like grew very big. And I'm a big fan of the gear. I'm a big fan
Facts.
of Becky's gear.
Becky
When I
Two
saw
Cheeks
her,
is what I call her.
I like her WrestleMania gear. She had like points on her knee pads. It made me think I want spikes on my knee pads. So I'll go Becky.
Okay. Becky or Sky Blue?
Because I know Sky Blue so well, and I hope she's young, she's hungry, and she's one of the hardest workers that I know. Obviously, she's working it and getting it, and I know one day she's going to be a big superstar.
Facts.
But I think Becky's been grinding and killing it just a little bit longer, and I'm going to say Becky, but I know Sky one day is going to soar. No pun intended. No pun intended.
Becky or Kylie Ray?
Kylie Ray, I think she's one of the coolest wrestlers to watch. I've met her a couple times. Don't really know too much about her, but I know she's really good and passionate. And we actually train with the same person. Well, she used to train with good old Hermano Diesel Doug, but I don't really know much about her.
Doug
Besides,
Simmons. Shout out to him.
yeah, shout out. But I'll stick with the Becky Lynch.
All right, last one.
Okay.
Becky or Mickey James?
Ooh, I would actually love to see that.
Oh yeah, me
Like
too.
just in general, I don't think they ever tussled up. Um, and I liked Mickey because she was one of those ladies that could wrestle too and wasn't just hot during
Yes.
those days of the
Even though
divas
she
and all
was
that stuff.
both.
Yeah, one of the only ladies still working and kicking ass that was in that era as well as the modern era and has adjusted. But I think, of course, I think Becky Lynch is one of the best, so I'll stick with her.
Becky. All right, so that is your queen of the ladder, Becky. And it's a good
Becky.
pick too.
Yeah,
So
I think she's a very good wrestler. I like the way, I like all of her matches. I like all of her promos, and she definitely screams out she's confident and knows, she's good.
now quick question.
Okay.
Something similar with the whole WWE contract and wrestling contract. If you had the opportunity to go wrestle all promotion just one time, who is somebody that you would like to face an Impact? Who is somebody who you would like to face an AEW,
Okay.
NWE, NXT, NWA? Just
Shoot. Well, NWA, I would have to find a friend because I am a big fan of Mecha Wolf
oh,
and
Mr.
Bestia.
450.
Yes, 450. Him and Marche Rocket always gave me really good words after matches and watching. But I've never been able to tussle with the Mecha Wolf. So
Mhm.
if I found a good partner, I would go to NWA and try to wrestle those crazy boys. Big fan. Impact, I'd probably have to say Josh. If it was like maybe a year or two ago, I'd probably say George. No, no. What am I saying? Hakeem Zayn.
Mm,
But I think if it was right now, Josh, because I think I would learn the most from him.
right.
AEW, that one's tough because there's a lot of people I'd love to wrestle. I always have two in my brain. I think either Penta or Dante Martin.
Oh,
That's
okay.
always that's always the two that
Damn,
I
you
always.
never faced Dante Martin? I would assume you'd have.
I've trained with him. I've seen his work. When he used to come to Chicago a lot, I was always pick his brain and ask, like, how can I make, this look cooler or more
Mm,
devastating? So I was always a big fan of him, and just Penta, I think, is just one of the best.
yeah.
So I would love to wrestle with him. So I think that's who I would pick in AEW. WWE, literally anybody. I think the one I'd want to wrestle just because I have the most respect would be Mustafa
Mm,
Ali, because he just helped me out the most when it was pandemic. Like the guy, I had wrestling shoes that were torn up and they were breaking up, and he was helping us during one training session. And then the next time I stepped in the ring, there was a pair of shoes waiting for me, and it was a letter from Mustafa that he bought them for me. So
oh wow, nice.
I always have a lot of respect for him. So I think if it's a WWE ring, you know what I mean? I never care. Titles are titles. I kind of, if I was just to walk into that promotion and be like, can I please wrestle him?
Right.
You know, don't, obviously shake hands with everybody, have respect for everybody that what they've done. But I think if it was my choice, I would definitely pick Mustafa Ali.
That's a good
Um,
choice.
what am I missing?
Uh, I mean, you want to what about Triple A and New Japan?
Oh, geez. Triple A, I would, even though it's about to happen tomorrow, Sunday. I don't know when you guys are dropping this, but I've always wanted to wrestle Ares, and I'm doing
Mm.
that tomorrow at Galley Lucha Libre for
Oh wow,
the
nice.
Galley World Title, and I've always wanted to wrestle him one on one, so I'll be doing that already.
But
Um,
you would like to face him in Triple A.
yeah, sure, it'd be
Yeah.
great. Love to see what the six-sided ring does for us.
Ooh, I would like to see you wrestle in this the six-sided ring back in Impact though.
I've wrestled in six-sided rings, man. They're kind of weird, but I think
I
it's,
heard they hurt more.
yeah, sure. That's a ring.
Yeah, true.
They're cool. They're a little strange. You got to kind of get used to the ropes and all that stuff, but I think it does its job. It does its job. It's kind of cool.
Now, have you ever faced Steve Boz or like one of your trainers from CSW?
No, not. I shouldn't say no. I should probably say not yet.
Yeah, yeah,
I've trained. I've gone against Doug. Oh, hello. Okay, good.
yeah.
Uh, I've gone against Doug Simmons,
Mm,
which was an honor, an absolute honor to work with Doug. But no, I've not worked the BOZ yet.
yeah, but it's gonna
I
happen.
know. I'd love to because he's the one that opened his doors to me. I have worked a lot of, my trainers, from AAA, Ricky Cruz, Ricky Marvin. I worked super crazy, like I said before,
Oh, nice.
but I haven't worked the first trainer, the BOZ, and maybe at CSW sometime this year in the near future. It'd be great to work them. I know the guy still got it for for being a guy that's been doing it for a long time.
Over 25 years, I believe.
Yeah, I want to say, like, I think he started in sometime in like 1990 or something like that. So he knows his stuff for being the BOZ, and he sure knows how to point and clap. That's his
Yeah,
big
he still
trait.
does that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
Jeez. Yeah, he's never changed the gimmick. I think he just
oh,
changed the looks.
yeah, something like that. Tighter pants, I think.
I like
maybe
that.
maybe tighter pants. Yeah.
So, getting a little bit on your personal life, what do you like besides wrestling? What do you like to do for fun or, you know, they when you're not wrestling?
I mean, I'm a big fan of hanging out with friends and family. I'm a big nerd. I love playing games. I play D&D, Dungeons and Dragons a little bit here and there.
Mm,
Love hearing all types of music. I always tell my girlfriend and family, like I have stages. Like this week I'm just listening to heavy metal, then the next week I'm listening to Prince, and I'm listening to like Kanye's old stuff. It's so I love playing music. Like every time that my car's on, I got to get my music ready to just be in the zone. But I just like doing things. You know what I mean? I just started my first promotion for wrestling. We do like kind of these conventions, cosplay convention shows, and we
Oh,
dress up
nice.
and we wrestle. So like I like to talk with my friends and make ideas, not what ifs, if that makes sense.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of just sitting still. Like I do like to relax and kind of hang with my dog, maybe play Red Dead Redemption here and there, but I don't like to just twiddle my thumbs. If I have time, I'm either working a show or I'm trying to get something started. So
Tell
I
me
think
a little
that's
bit more of this promotion that you have going on.
yeah. We first started it during the pandemic times. Pretty much like we used um, we used the time that we'd be training
Mhm.
because it was just we would come into training Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, sometimes even on a Monday because we were bored and we wanted to hit each other. You know what I mean? It was like
Right.
we wanted to wrestle. We thought, well, the camera guy, his friend, his name's Derek. You may have seen him at a couple shows. He's been doing like GCW and all this other stuff. He would come out and hang too with us. And it's like, well, we got a camera guy. I've been doing editing. He's been doing editing. We have all these people that want to put something together. So we started like a little, Bozatorium, little YouTube show, and then doing that for 2 or 3 years since 2020 when the pandemic was hitting hard. And then just literally the day after CSW, we got asked because I have a friend who is like an event coordinator for these like anime conventions and all that stuff. And they wanted a main event, they wanted a wrestling show. And we were like, we can do it. And it was our first show. We got like 400 people. Like we had Disney, we had anime characters, we had, and it was just a lot of fun. We call ourselves Proving Ground Chicago or even Maximum Power. Just started our IG for it, and we're going to start branching out for different conventions around the United States. And I think after that one show, it made everybody very hungry to do more. So I think it'd be a lot of fun to continue doing that.
Oh, nice. Well, definitely send me all those links and I'll post them
Sure, man.
in the bio below.
Sure. Of
So, but Axel Rico, I appreciate your time. Thank you
course,
for
man.
doing this.
Yeah.
You're one of many that did not cancel, or sorry, I think it's the other way around. You did not cancel. I asked for a lot of interviews and you didn't cancel. So I
Yeah, man.
appreciate that.
Hey, dude, we got everybody in the business, no matter if it is, ref, wrestler, podcaster, interviewer, and all that stuff. They have love for wrestling and promoting and helping the big guys, the little guys, helping you, helping myself out. That's what I think it's all about. Of course, we all are on this crazy life and we all have different interests, love, and art to bring to the world and to show. So, whatever I can do to help, make your what ifs into realities, that's what I'm about.
Appreciate that, man. That means a lot. And yeah, we feel the same way, but we're getting tired of, people leaving us on red. So
And it turns into one of those things, right? Like
yeah.
you all of a sudden become big and popular. What do you remember? Do you remember the yes, 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 yes? No, you remember the no's.
Yeah. That is true, man. So Axel Rico, where can people find you?
Yeah, I got Axel Rico. Of course on the Facebook, Twitter. I think it's Axel Rico with 4 R's, like Rico. Um, Same thing on Instagram. I'm on TikTok too, like just trying to do silly things on social medias. I got t-shirts on, of course, pro wrestling tees. Find me at all the shows, Galley Lucha Libre, AAW. Who knows where I'm gonna land this year? I might come to a state near you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Well,
just
for people to find
all,
out for sure, I'll post every link he has down in the
boom.
description. So that way, if you
Every
guys want
single
a
one.
book, yep, there you go.
My MySpace, my VHS
Whoa,
collection.
MySpace. That threw
All
me
the
off.
links. All the links.
What
It's
year are
all the
we
links.
in?
Yeah, seriously.
Jeez.
2003, 2003, something like that.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Axel Rico. Axel, thank you for your time. So this is
Thank you.
it for this episode. Until next time, we are out. Doo-doo-doo.